In this video, we're going to talk about Wyatt Langford, an outfielder from the University of Florida, and we're going to talk about where he's going to go in the Major League Baseball draft for 2023, his scouting report, and this video starts right now. As you know, Major League Baseball is going to have their draft the last day before the All-Star break this year. They've been doing the last 2 years, and it's been very popular. It's better than doing it in June on a Tuesday. It's good to see all this excitement over these young players. And scouts right now are going to these different places. There are so many teams scouting young players, from high school players to college players. And one of the college players we're going to be talking about in this video is Wyatt Langford. He's an outfielder at Florida. He could be a center fielder. He could be I don't know where they're going to play him. But we'll get into this video, and we're going to talk about his scouting report, where he's going to go in the draft. Now, some of these scouting reports that I'm going to be reading to you are from different sources, and just bear that in mind. The first one is from The Athletic. It doesn't give you the writer. Wyatt Langford would be the top MLB draft prospect in any year except this one. Florida's Wyatt Langford sits at number 2 on my latest MLB draft rankings and was number 2 earlier in the year, where he fouled a ball off a bad place, which kept him out for 2 weeks but didn't require surgery. He came back incredibly quickly and hasn't let up at the plate, reaching base 4 more times when I saw him against Florida State at the AAA ballpark in Jacksonville on May 2nd. And this article is from May 10th. Langford is a 70 runner with a beautiful right-handed swing that generates real power already. He hit 26 homers last year, tying him for 6th in the country with first-rounder Ken Parada, who's now a Mets prospect and is in, Brooklyn. And he's already at 12 this year, even with about 7 missed games. He's steady through contact with excellent hip rotation, getting his weight onto his front side without collapsing the back. And even then, he rarely misses. He plays left field in part because Florida has a plus defensive center fielder in redshirt freshman Michael Robertson, but more because Langford isn't a natural or instinctive defender, even in left field. He's so fast you'd think he could handle center, but we have seen guys with his speed. Derek Fisher comes to mind, and to a lesser extent Corey Ray, who just couldn't carry it over to defense. He's not quite hitting at the pace of LSU's Dylan Cruz, but Langford is having an incredible year by non-Cruz standards. Cruz is 2nd in Division I in on-base percentage and 14th in slugging. Langford is 5th in on-base percentage and 17th in slugging, and both are doing it in the nation's best conference. While Cruz has the edge in production and defensive value, as he's a center fielder, Langford is the better runner and athlete, and I would like to think he could get to average defense in left. Cruz is the favorite to go 1-1, but Langford would be the 1-1 pick in the majority of draft years, and he's got to be the best alternative for Pittsburgh if they want to try to negotiate with 2 players who strike the best deal. Here's other people that have put out scouting reports on Langford. First up is Kelly McDaniel. These reports are from last year. Quote, he has a quiet, repeatable, low-maintenance swing that kind of reminds me of Peter Alonso mechanically. But Langford has only 55 to 60 grade raw power, good for 25-ish homers annually in the big leagues, from Prospects Live. This is a premium power bat with easy plus raw power to all fields. He's also a fringe average runner, but the legs play up thanks to strong instincts and burst on the base paths. From Jonathan Mayo, the corner outfielder certainly looks like he has the bat to profile at his position. He's coming off a huge year for the Gators, hitting .356 with 26 home runs, and Langford then went 7 for 21 for Team USA. Now, the Kansas City Royals had the 8th pick in the 2023 MLB Draft. It didn't seem like they were going to get Langford, but different websites are posting different scouting reports on Langford, hoping that maybe he falls down to 8th for the Royals. Here's what RoyalsReview.com says on Wyatt Langford. Some evaluators have Langford above Cruz in their rankings, which is baffling to me given Cruz's considerably longer track record. Anyway, Langford spent most of his freshman season at Florida riding the bench, garnering just 4 plate appearances. He spent the following summer tearing the cover off the ball in the Valley Baseball League. Langford got a shot as a starter in 22 and made the most of it. He went yard in his first plate appearance of the season and never looked back as he enjoyed a breakout campaign. He reached base in 59 of 66 games he played and tied for 6th in the country with 26 homers. His effort earned him All-American and All-SEC honors. 23 saw Langford get off to a torrid start before he went down with what I will simply call a lower body injury. That doesn't sound good. Probably an embarrassing injury. He recovered quickly, however, and returned this past weekend against Ole Miss. In 94 plate appearances this season, he's in .392 with a .550 on-base percentage and an .861 slug, with 8 homers and more walks than strikeouts. As mentioned before, some consider Langford and Cruz to be a sort of 1A and 1B situation. They're both right-handed hitting SEC outfields. Both could play center at the next level, but are more likely corner guys in the future. Langford is toolsier, hits the ball harder, makes more contact. Cruz has a better approach to the plate, a swing epitomized to produce hard contact in the air, and a longer track record of elite production. Well, here's the prediction that MLB.com has for Wyatt Langford. There seems to be a bit of a disagreement between minor league experts Jim Callis and Jonathan Mayo. The two of them have a disagreement. At number 4, Callis says that Langford is going to go to the Rangers. And Jonathan Mayo says that Wyatt Langford is going to go number 5 to the Minnesota Twins. Here's what Callis had to say. Do you want the guy who's proven it at the college level? I think Langford is probably a left fielder when all is said and done. I think he has less defensive value, but you have a better read on his bat since he's performed at a very high level at college. Mayo says this. Langford is another guy who has taken a huge step forward and didn't play as a freshman, so there's not as much of a track record. Again, that's nitpicking. I really wish Florida had let Langford play center field this year. I know they have a center fielder, but people are hoping to see what they would look like. The team that takes him, I think, could very well send him out in center and see how that plays. Now, you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. We're going to do as many players as we can do here over the next couple of months. Because obviously, there's so many players to go through. I have at least 150 players to go through between now and the draft in July. So thank you for watching. Please stick with the channel. Thank you. And I'll see you later.